Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. I come in peace when I say this. I know fans still want to see Matt Canada go after the season. They will likely get their wish in this video. These examples from the Steelers' Thursday night win over the Titans do not absolve Canada of his tenure or necessarily change my opinion of his future or outlook with the team, but I thought he called a great game against Tennessee. I thought against Jacksonville he called a competent, good game. I thought it was a great game against the Titans. Let's talk about it. And before we begin, if you guys could like this video and subscribe to the channel and check out the site SteelersDepot.com, I would appreciate that. Let's jump into this game and all the conceptual, schematic things that Canada did well, even if the execution was not always there. This is the opening drive of the game. Of course, Pittsburgh getting their first opening drive touchdown since Week 15 of last year. Seen this concept a lot over the entire NFL, but also in Pittsburgh the last several weeks. This 4x1, this fast motion, you can call the running back here, Jaylen Warren, this fast number 4 that, runs out into the flat here on the snap of the football. A design swing, screen essentially for Warren, and also Pickett has the ability to look backside if he gets the right look, the right matchup. We've seen George Pickens catch a bunch of back shoulder throws. I threw a slant to him off of this look in this game that was incomplete, but those are the options on this play. But this fast motion by the running back to create some easy yards out in space, good blocking by Pickens, by Washington, by Robinson. But this play also gives a backside option, 1v1 possibility if it's there. So a good sound concept all around. I think every good coach has to create easy yards for his offense and his quarterback. You can certainly have these higher level concepts that go for big plays, but you want to have plays that get your offense into a rhythm. Easy yards on 1st and 10 to stay on schedule for 3rd and short, to move the sticks, that kind of stuff. Saw it repeatedly in this game against Tennessee. We're going to see Connor Hayward come across. We're going to see this, I believe, a little bit later in the game as well, but faking this Zorro toss. And so what Pittsburgh have been doing with their run game the last several weeks was this motion that's been popularized by Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, Mike McDaniel in Miami. We're going to get a toss play here with the fullback or tight end working in motion. Here, we're going to fake off of it. We're going to throw to Hayward in the flat off of play action. He's wide open. Linebackers, you see them really keying on the run, probably because of the motion. They're expecting this to be a run play, and you get Hayward open in the flat here, and he's going to pick up the first down. And so that's just easy, free yards. We'll look at it from the end zone view actually right now and just watch these linebackers really commit hard to the run, and that's going to leave Hayward wide open in the flat. Eyes on the run. 2 sees it late, but he's out leveraged because of the motion, and it's a first down. That's just a good, clean, efficient call. I don't have the exact data to quantify it, but I would bet $1 that Pittsburgh ran more RPOs in this game than they have in any game this season, and also threw the ball in more RPO situations than any game this season, which is more of a Pickett decision than it is an actual play call. Of course, RPOs are run-pass options based on leverage and looks and box counts to determine whether or not you're going to throw the ball or hand it off. And so in this situation, you are getting too high. It may suggest a run, but you see the nickel corner 24 blitz here late. And so Pickett's going to throw off of that. Again, could hand the ball off to Najee Harris, but with this stack at the bottom that helps create some of this off coverage, it's going to free up Johnson here on this just kind of quick little smoke screen, get the block from Robinson. A lot of RPOs in this game. They didn't all work perfectly. Maybe 1 or 2 bad decisions by Kenny Pickett. Probably could have thrown a couple that he handed off, but I think generally speaking, just more freedom, more options, more answers for an offense depending on the defensive structure. I know this pass was incomplete on 3rd and goal by Kenny Pickett, and he missed this throw, and we can talk about the execution, but our focus is on the scheme, the play call, and Matt Canada. Pre-snap, we're going to get motion from number 2 from Allen Robinson. Defender, the corner, is going to start moving with him. That identifies likelihood of man coverage, does not guarantee it. Defenses are smart. They realize they have to mix things up, but getting kind of a man look here. I just like in the red zone, space is so limited. It's so, such a priority, hard to come by. You have to create that, and to create that, you have to stress some defenders. So we're going to run these divide routes here from Connor Hayward, the tight end number 3, Allen Robinson, number 2. Just kind of both running, I think more of a post from Connor Hayward, more of a skinny post from Allen Robinson, but that's going to make the safety here have to choose. Does he want to take number 3 Does he want to take number 2? He gets that 1v1 matchup with Robinson on the DB, and this pass incomplete. Pickett misses. He's low with it. You could argue that he should have gone to Hayward. You're going to see on the end zone view that Hayward looks pretty darn open, and I can grant you that. Again, I'm not too focused on the execution and Pickett here, but I understand Pickett's decision-making. He's reading the safety, 37's going with Hayward. That creates the 1v1 to Robinson. That's a better throw. It's going to be a tight window throw, but it's red zone. These are always going to be tight windows. There's a chance for this pass to be caught, and so I understand Pickett looking off the safety because he did float towards number 3, towards Connor Hayward. We're going to see that right there. He breaks towards him. That creates the matchup on the top. Just a better ball would have been obviously ideal here, but I like the concept of these divider routes, these vertical divider routes in the red zone to try to create some of these 1v1 matchups and make the safety choose. This one didn't work in the way that I'm going to praise it for, but again, I really like the design. I think Canada, what he's done the best of anything this year, even going back to preseason, even when the offense was miserable and I was criticizing him in week 1, week 2, early in the season, bunch formations. I love bunch. I think it creates so many matchup issues for the defense. How do they distribute it? How do they account for switch routes or switch releases, I should say? All the different route combinations that come off of it, the free releases that these guys get. I think there's a lot of useful tools and advantages that bunch gives you, and Canada has used them a lot this season. So what we're going to see here is a bunch to the top, 3x1, Pickens to the bottom. I like isolating him to the bottom, 1v1, and then the bunch to the top. And we're going to see Calvin Austin, initially align outside wide, as we'll call him the number 1 furthermost outside receiver. But off the release, he's going to become the new number 3. He's going to become the innermost slot receiver to that side, running vertically down the seam. And that kind of creates a 1v1 matchup against this too high look that's going to develop on the linebacker. You're getting the linebacker 50 running with Austin, clear advantage. Now, they've done a lot of seam stuff with number 2, number 3 the last 2 weeks. They threw to Austin in this game against the linebacker, but that was more he's lined up as number 3 and just runs past the linebacker. Pickett had some pressure, throws a little short. Austin couldn't make the play. That's all besides the point. But I like the design here. We're getting the same idea, the same outcome of getting number 3 vertically down the seam against too high, but we're going to change the positioning and the release. We'll call this the new number 3, or 1 up is 3. Number 1 receiver becomes now the number 3 receiver. And how does the defense account for that? How do they distribute that? End up with a linebacker now on Calvin Austin. Maybe they're thinking pre-snap that maybe Connor Hayward's going to be on the linebacker if he's going to run vertically, but you get your fastest guy against the linebacker. Pickett didn't throw it, ends up hitting the flat to Najee Harris. Only thing I would probably say is I want number 1 here on these concepts to run vertically. Whenever they're running underneath, this backside safety can better squeeze that vertical route, and I would rather have that safety have to defend something vertically. This happened against Jacksonville with Allen Robinson, where Pickens ran the shallow underneath. Robinson was down the seam. Backside safety squeezed it and picked it off. Only nitpick there. That's a site adjustment coverage type of thing. You can tag that in different ways, but overall, the concept of what Canada is doing on this play, I really like. You get the Johnson number 1 on the outside. Again, making that safety choose, stressing him. It's a really nice call. Check it down. That's okay. I can live with that, but really like this design from Matt Canada. I think coordinators are defined by what they do in situational moments. 4th down, got to have it tight moments, end of game, 3rd down, red zone, the weighty moments, as Mike Tomlin would say. In this situation, we're going to see this is the previous play. We're going to look at the down and distance for the play we're going to talk about. This is 3rd down, 3rd and 3 at Tennessee's 12-yard line. Titans lead 13-10. And it's not overly complicated. It doesn't have to be. But George Pickens, number 2 receiver, on a slot fade. And you're just going to get a good matchup on the nickel corner on this play. He's going to stem to the outside, little smash route essentially with Robinson, this stop route underneath to hold the cornerback. And it's a good ball from Pickett. Pickens tracks it. That's a tough thing to do. He just could not put his left foot down. Don't know how he didn't. He can make these incredible one-handed catches and can't get his left foot down with 2 yards to do so. So should have been a touchdown, nearly a touchdown, ruled by this official as a touchdown. It was overturned, and that was the correct call. But simple thing, slot fade from number 2. Just ISO that, nickel corner in the red zone, 3rd down call. Just move guys around, change the route tree a little bit. Instead of number 1 on the outside where it's more contested, you don't have the space. Pickens can make that play, but
run it from the slot. And this one almost and should have been 6. I mentioned we would come back to this concept later in the game, and it's this Zorro toss fake to the flat to Connor Hayward that we saw earlier. This one changed up a bit differently. Really, Hayward trying to sell like he's going to block, but again, just easy yards. This is 1st and 10. You get 5 yards. You're in 2nd and 5. Your playbook stays open. You stay out of negativity, and your offense is on schedule. And hopefully, it could go for more. It went for 11 earlier in the game. That got you a 1st down, so that's ideal. But again, just a nice concept overall. Look at these guys bite so hard on the run. It's probably not because of the run fake necessarily, maybe to an extent, but I think they just see the motion. They think like, okay, Pittsburgh has run this a lot. This Zorro kind of toss. They're going to run the ball. It's 1st and 10. They got some big people out there. They got Hayward. They got Rodney Williams. And you really just get Hayward wide open in the flat. Now the DB makes a nice play. You kind of hope for some more yak there in that situation, 1v1. But again, 5 yards on 1st and 10. Not going to be mad at that overall. We'll take a look at the aerial view. Again, you see 1st and 10, I believe first play of the possession or so in this situation. And again, Hayward just wide open here in the flat. Easy throw. Make life easy on your quarterback on 1st down. Get the drive going. They do that here. Finally, we will look at Deontay Johnson's touchdown because it's been a while since we've seen a Deontay Johnson touchdown. It's been since 2021, so good for Deontay Johnson. A big weight off his shoulders and well-deserved with all he's been through with the injury and frustrations and etc., etc. Stack here, going to get the inside stem from Johnson initially, get the corner to hold, and then break to the outside, get this little rub, pick play that's not going to get called with Robinson, kind of knocking off the cornerback on this one as he goes outside initially on his stem and then back inside. Titans don't banjo it. They're playing it straight up man coverage. This guy's got Robinson. This guy's got Deontay Johnson. And the corner just has no chance there, becomes pitch and catch. And so again, we're talking 1st and goal at the 3. Big moment of the game here. Pittsburgh trying to take the lead. Just had this drop from Deontay Johnson, although there was the PI or the holding, I think, on the defender for Tennessee on Allen Robinson. So 16-13 game. You obviously have a really good chance to tie, but you want to take the lead, get a really good concept here. Again, I love these stacks. I want to create free releases for Deontay Johnson. If you give Johnson a free release with his route running ability, dude's going to make plays. He's going to be open. His route running is that savvy, and so just a good concept. When you're dealing with condensed space like you get in the red zone, especially at the 3, at the 20, it's one thing. At the 3, you're really tight. You got to find ways to manufacture that space. They do that on this play with this stack and with this kind of rub route here that gets Johnson open to the right sideline. And finally, a celebration. Do we get to see it? Oh, they cut it off. Do we see it from this end? Let's roll it through the end zone view one time. See if we see how happy Johnson is for scoring his first touchdown in a long time. Do we get the luxury of that? Barely cut it off. You saw him have the arms wide open moment. And so that is the touchdown that won the game for Pittsburgh. I found a better shot of it. I just happened to scrub on through, and there's Deontay Johnson. We'll leave at that shot. What a great moment. The terrible towels in the foreground here, but the shadows and Deontay Johnson looking up. That's a great way to sum up the moment there in the Pittsburgh Steelers win. So, again, not saying that Matt Canada has suddenly become the next greatest thing as an offensive coordinator, but if he keeps doing the things that he did against Tennessee, Pittsburgh's offense will eventually have success. They will execute. They will iron those things out, and they're going to make the playoffs if that continues. Now, of course, a really healthy run game helps when they run for $166, and there were some good run calls and some really good execution. That opens up the playbook. Again, when you stay on schedule, you're out of 3rd down. You're converting on 3rd down. They were 6 of 12 on 3rd down. They were 29% the previous 2 weeks on 3rd down. So all those things play a role, taking care of the football, 0 turnovers, less penalties, I guess. I mean, it was kind of sloppy the last couple of weeks, but overall, those things add up. But if you combine the execution and the run game with some good schemes and concepts, you get results, or the potential for results that hopefully with time will actually become results. Because again, not every single thing we looked at was the actual result of the play. You had Pickens that should have had that touchdown, etc. But just conceptually, like what Matt Canada did, I'm sure people can talk about, tinfoil hat stuff. Was he calling the plays? Was somebody else doing something? I don't know for sure. And I get he's on the sideline in this game. How much does that affect the play calling, the scheme, the game plan? I think it has an effect on your in-game kind of flow. And Probably less so on your overall game plan coming into that one. And does Glenn Thomas do something more upstairs? I don't know. But I'm just going to give credit where it's available to be given. We're going to critique the guy, and that's valid and fair. We're going to give credit where it's due, and it certainly was due in this game. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I appreciate you guys watching. Again, please like this video, please subscribe to the channel, and please check out the site SteelersDepot.com for more film room, more analysis. Not all my film rooms are video-based. Some of them are article-based, and those go up on the website, so check that out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.